Hey there folks, it's Adam here with a video. Just wanted to talk about these particular storms that are moving through some parts of the area. At this point in time, the storms are actually quite isolated, so it is very possible that many of you within the forecast aren't even going to see a drop. So if you were expecting more, then our apologies, but we did say scattered storms, but in this case they might be a little bit more towards the isolated. The overnight into the early morning hours does carry the possibility of thunderstorms with some hail, strong wind gusts, so there still could be a low severe risk as we go into the morning hours. And then there's another severe risk into tomorrow that we'll get to eventually. But for right now, let's just take a look at where we are. It is 5:15 as I speak, and let me just do a little zoom in here and take a look at that storm that's north of Barrie right now. So it's up in areas like Craighurst, Mount St. Louis, Moonstone, Aurelia, and it will be moving east as we play the future radar here. So there's also some storms over further to the west, north of Hanover and south of Chatsworth, and that region right here that we can see. So some more storms west of southern Ontario on Lake Huron, kind of tracking slowly to the east, and there are some more storms south of Windsor that are near Lake Erie, and they're also tracking slowly to the northeast as well too. So let me just animate the radar here, and you can see what potentially could happen as we move into the evening hours. So the storms are, actually I'm outside right now and you can hear how windy it is in Barrie right now, so that's an interesting sign. The storm to our north is likely pulling a lot of the heat that's right here into it. So nevertheless, these storms will track slowly to the east. Let me zoom back into the Barrie area. So it talks about the storm that's moving through right now will eventually dissipate, and then more storms will develop towards the evening hours, as you can see right there. So to the west, a large part of deep southwestern Ontario is going to be missed this evening, very likely. There may be some development, maybe a few pop-ups other than what we're looking at here, but it is very possible that deep southwestern Ontario could be missed until the morning hours, and then more storms are likely to move in. So based on the model data that I've at least reviewed and the storm motion that's happening right now west of us, it looks like into the morning hours for a lot of that area is possible. So we'll have to see what happens. This is just a future model, so there are times that it can be completely out to lunch, but it seems to line up. One good test of it is if you go to the current radar, so this was the current radar frame when I first loaded this up, and if you compare it to the first future radar frame, if there's similarities, then you're probably pretty good. And besides those little storms north of Hanover, it seems to be picking up pretty much everything. So this is the past, and this is the first frame of future radar. So that's a good comparison. Is it similar to current radar? Yes, then we're probably onto something. Is it completely different as soon as you roll between the two? Then it's obviously having problems. So it looks like more development into the Lake Simcoe area and more development throughout deep southwestern Ontario, but that won't happen until overnight into the morning hours. So we'll be watching closely. Hopefully folks are staying safe if you're in the path of that storm that's north of Barrie, and we'll be watching it very closely. Cheers.